What's up, guys? How's it going? How's it going? Welcome to the Asia stream. Welcome, welcome. So as you guys probably know, we do have, we did have FOMC today. So that's what this is from right here. So price opened right here for Asia, or for the new day. Price opened right here with this little gap. And then this is the 5-minute. We do have this 5-minute gap right here. So this 5-minute gap is right there. We are in that right now. Price inverses that. Okay, that's bearish, obviously. Let's see. Let me go to the daily real quick. Kind of clean up my levels. What's up? What's up? Yeah. Let me go clean up my levels here. All right. So that looks about right. Clean up this chart over here. It's 15-minute. We drop back down to the 15-minute on this chart. See, 15-minute gap, 1 minute. Just cleaning up the chart real quick. All right, so that looks about right. So now let's go over here to this. Let's grab this. Put it over here. And there we go. There's our 1 hour. So, okay. Drop back down to the 1 hour over here. All right, so if we kind of zoom out here, we are still between the same gaps. Remember, on the 4 hour, we have this 4 hour gap right here, and this 4 hour gap right here, right? So right now, price is still just in between those gaps, right? So I really want to see price kind of get outside of one of these gaps, So, but right now we're still in them. So obviously, let's drop back down to the 15. Drop back down to the 5. Actually, let me go back to the 15 real quick. So we do have just a tiny gap. So 5-minute gap, there's our 5-minute fair value gap right there. All right, so we are still in that. This candle closes in 29 seconds, so it looks like we will have another 5-minute gap, something like that, wherever this candle closes. So let me go ahead. Let me draw that for now, and then if that does move, I'll adjust it. But yeah, we got 2 seconds to let candle close, and there we go. So we do have a new hourly candle as well in 10 minutes. So drop down to the 1 minute now. I'll take these, put these over here as well. Drop down. Let's go to the 15 here. 5-minute. There we go. All right. Yeah, so there's our 5-minute gaps. So here's the 1 minute. As you can see, we are between both of them still. So, what could we look for here? What could we look for? I definitely do not want to look for anything inside these gaps. If we kind of start breaking out of this gap, for example, if we inverse this gap right here, okay, we could probably look for this low right here, maybe. So we'll see. We do have this wick high right here. That's a wick high. And then we have this wick low over here. So those are quite a ways though from price. Yeah, that's like I mean it's like 100, about 100 points both ways. So yeah, just gonna wait for price to inverse one of these gaps, one of these 5-minute gaps. The 1 minute looks absolutely horrendous now. I bet ES looks even worse. Yeah. So hopefully we get some more speed here in the next 8 minutes. Hopefully we get some more speed here in the next 8 minutes. Do have a 1 minute gap right here. Keep my eye on that. There's that 1 minute for value gap. So yeah, right between these two gaps. Don't really want to do anything. Just want to wait for price to get out of there. I mean, it's very similar to the higher time frame. When we go to the 4 hour right here, we're sandwiched between these two gaps right here. So I want to see us either inverse this gap, this big 4 hour gap, and then we'll look for this low first right here. We'll look for that. Look to take that out. If we completely just start ripping through that, like we could come down here and take this and then rip back up. That'll be great. We can look for longs. If we do just start ripping down still, we create like another fair value gap. We can look to get short back down to this new day opening gap. So and then also, let's say we do start just completely ripping here, just ripping higher through this 4 hour fair value gap. We'll probably look for this high right here inside that daily gap, and then that daily gap will probably get filled. And then if we do inverse that, we'll probably look for the CE in this weekly gap, which is this buy side over here. So, right now, like that's kind of what I'm looking for. I have a plan for both ways, for up and down. It's just, right now, like we're just in this, and we're still just in this area. So I want us to get out of this. See how big are these candle moves? How big is this? Pretty small. Pretty small. Yeah, so there's that 1 minute gap right there. Looks horrible. All these gaps on the 1 minute. So far price is respecting that 5 minute gap. I want to see us either like inverse this. If we can inverse this 5 minute gap right here, we'll probably look for like another gap to get short in down to this low, and then if we want to hold a runner down to this wick low down here. But I need to see some momentum. I need to see something to get into a trade. Right now, we're not seeing any real type of momentum. So that's the number one thing. Just gotta wait for that. Tomorrow morning before market open, we do have some more news. I think it's unemployment claims. Let me check. Let me check that. Yeah, unemployment claims hour before market open tomorrow. So now since FOMC is out of the way, I think the market should be a lot better Thursday and Friday. So that'll be nice. But yeah. Let's see. So, so far we got higher lows right here, higher highs. So, see what happens. See what happens here. This looks so ugly. These candles, so ugly. We got a new hourly in 4 minutes, so 3 minutes. See if price picks it up. If not, then we won't take a trade until tomorrow morning, which is completely fine during New York session. So, let's see. Okay, yeah. So we got a minute 45 left. Minute 45. Still holding this 1 minute gap. Still holding that 1 minute gap. We got 1 minute left. 1 minute until that new hour. Hopefully, we get some speed there. That'll be great. That would be great. Yeah, flipping there. So flipping on the 5 minute. All right. Okay. This is great. Look at this. 4 point candle. Okay, so we are ripping there on the open. And when I say ripping, I mean 6 points. So looks like we are starting to inverse this 1 minute gap. Probably stick to the 5 minute here. Okay, getting some action there. Getting some action. So this candle does have 4 minutes left. And there's that new hour. All right, so far this hourly candle right here, this is something to look out for. So far this hourly candle has no wick on the bottom, right? Zero wick. So, do we think that this 1 hour candle is just not going to have a wick on the bottom? I mean, like how often does that happen, right? How often does it not have a single, not even a little tick on the other side? If you go back, you look at the hourly candles, most of the time, there's a wick on both sides. So what does that mean then, right? If there's no wick on this side, that means at some point we're probably going to come through and flip here, right? So what do we do? So what do we do to get into a trade there? Well, one, maybe we'd look to take out this the previous hour high, and then we inverse back down and we flip and take that, right? Because there's no wick, there's no wick there. So let's go draw this here. So hourly open, draw that. All right, so then this is previous wick, previous 1 hour high. I mean, picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's kind of how I'm seeing it. Like, is there a chance that this candle just has zero wick on the bottom? Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance, but go back and look at all the 1 hour candles. I see like what, like this one. No, that one still has a tick on it. Like I don't see a single one. I'm sure there is one here, but it's rare, right? So we kind of want to see this thing take out some high and then look for that inverse back down. So, this hourly open, ideally, we'd want to get into that trade somewhere up here above and then flip back down. I've been in on a short and demo since before close. I think we're gonna try, be careful of that being in a trade during close when you aren't on a live account or a funded account, because funded prop firms won't let you do that, and then you'll probably get margin called too on a live account. Yeah, so I want to see if we could take out this high over here. I want to see if we could take out that high and then look for that flip back down. Right. I like this push though. I like the action. I honestly might just start the stream now at 8 p.m. Eastern. I might just start it at 8 p.m. Eastern because like 7:45, like it's just dead. So all right, so we're taking out that high right there. This 5 minute candle is going to close in 15 seconds here. I'm going to delete this 1 minute. So what happened here? So we came down, tapped into the 5 minute gap, respected it again, inverse this 5 minute gap, right? So we do have some more highs over here, which we barely tapped. Let's take a look at ES, see if we can find any SMT. So same thing, took out that high. Over here, what happened over here? Where is this? That's 15. Okay. So then we have that high over there, which we did not take out. Almost got there. Okay. Okay. Okay, awesome. Nice. Nice. Very nice. Stick to the 5 minute here. 5 minute looks better. Yeah, so we do have a wick high over here. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. I don't need that anymore. So yeah, this is kind of what we're dealing with. This is kind of what we're dealing with. I would like to find a way to get in to target this hourly open down here. The only thing that I'm really seeing here is this tiny little gap right here. There's your 1 minute, which I mean, it looks like price kind of knows it's there. It's not the greatest gap. Definitely not the greatest gap. But if you're trying to be like super aggressive, price still holding it. Price still holding that 1 minute gap. Okay, nice, nice, nice. I really did not want us to flip there. I want us to build out a little bit more and then flip. I'm not in right now. I'm not in. But that's kind of like if we were to flip right now, that's kind of what it would look like. But I want us to come out here and build out a little bit more. So in a minute and a half, we will have a um in a minute and a half, we will have another gap, 5 minute gap right here. So far, price is inversing bearish PD raise and respecting bullish PD raise. So that's good for the bulls, right? That's good for the bulls until we kind of start flipping through those bullish PD raise. Then we got to be bullish. I do want to target this, but we got to look for some flips first. So if we're still just going to rip up like this right here, even though we had a tiny fair value gap, price tapped into it, ripped up higher, right? So we do have this wick up here, this wick high, right? Maybe price wants that. Check ES. All right. So guys, I do stream live at New York Open 9:30 a.m. in the Discord for completely free. Link for the Discords is in the description. So go ahead, join that. All right, so it looks like we built out another 1 minute gap right here. Again, bulls want to see these gaps get respected, right? So a super, super, super aggressive entry would be something like this. This would be your super aggressive entry back down to here. You have a very high R, very high R. I'm in light on it. I'm in light. It's back to that open. We really just want to keep our stop actually right there. I'll probably go ahead and tighten my stop a little bit. Yeah. So, we do have this 5 minute gap right here. This is what we got to watch out for. I probably will go to break even once we hit this CE. Price is tapping that top right there and pushing off of it. That was the only thing that I was a little worried about in this trade. Was exactly what we're doing right here. Uh, I am in very, very light. Right now, yeah. So we do have this 1 minute gap up here as well. Drag this over. Do have a 1 minute gap right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one right here. Delete that gap. This is pretty messy. This is pretty messy. I do think eventually, I think sometime this hour, I think we will take out this hourly open. I don't know if this is it. I did take a stab at it to see if we can get that now, if that's the push or not. I'm in very, very light just to see if see if we get it. If I see us bounce this again, I'll probably just get out for break even. I do think we kind of will come down here a little bit though. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. So it looks like we do have a BPR right here, 5 minute BPR. Right, yeah, right in this area where they overlap. Check the ES real quick. Bullish S&T with ES. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and go to break even right now. I don't really want to risk anything on this. Okay, there's that push. Where's that? Did we tap the? We did tap the CE. We did tap the CE. Let's see. Are we gonna push a little bit lower here? Stops are at break even, so risk free now. So this is kind of it, right? Like, are we gonna flip down here? Are we gonna flip down here and then take out this hourly open, or are we gonna end? Are we gonna hold this 5 minute gap and then flip higher, right? So like this is kind of this is kind of it right here. Let's see. It is risk-free. It is risk-free. We do have break-even stops on this, so we're good no matter what. The gap lower there. All right, nice, nice, nice. Are we holding the BPR? All right, I'm putting my stops. My stops are right above this candle. Yeah, looking for that low right here. I know my chart looks like a mess right now, but looking for that low. So it's something like that. Then these are my VE stop. It's right here, or I guess trail. My trail stop. So if we do hold this and we do start flipping higher and inversing this, I mean, that would be decent for longs, I guess. That would be pretty good for longs. Take out that wick high. I know we do have the hourly flip down here. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get it because it tapped this BPR. Where these gaps overlap, that's the balanced price range. All right, out there on that for just a little bit of profit, tiny bit of profit. Yeah, so we are bouncing that BPR right there, right here. So we do have a, let's see. So we do have this 1 minute gap right here. So 1 minute gap. We have another 1 minute gap up here. Check ES. Okay. So, just a small little trade right there, just a little bit of profit. I wasn't too heavily sized on it or anything. So far, we are respecting this gap right here, this 1 minute gap. See if this thing can continue down and get that hourly open. Nice push there. Okay. Hourly opens right here. Can it get it? Can it get the hourly open? Or are we creating SMT? Maybe a little bit of SMT. So if we do just flip strong through here, we see a nice buy sequence. I might look to get long here. I put in equal lows on ES while NQ swept. It's looking like it wants that hourly open though. Yeah, price wants to flip here. So see, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about with the hourly flip, right? Like this candle doesn't have a wick on the bottom, so there's a good chance that this thing flips, right, and makes that wick, which it's about to do, right? So like that's why okay, there we go. See, so there's the hourly flip. So that's why I really wanted to look for an inversion up here. So like once we took out, this high and then we took out this high over here, right? We looked for that 1 minute inversion, which was or was it a 5 minute? Was it? Yeah, no, it was a 1 minute. It was this one right here. So once we got that closed through, okay, then there's our short right there. I didn't catch the whole thing. I caught like a little bit of it, maybe half. But that was kind of my thought process. I was like, Okay, we probably have to hit that. Let's take out a high, look for the inversion, get that back down." The only thing that made me a little bit worried was this BPR right here. I saw us holding this. I was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it right there. That's it. So back into this 5 minute gap down here. Whoa, look at that. Look at that. Okay, okay, okay. Tapping that 5 minute, technically we'd still be holding this 5 minutes. So if we can get that and flip through, oh yeah, like this area would be nice. We do have a minute 15, so we do want to see where this thing closes. 'Cause if we can look to inverse this over here, I mean, like one, you can look to take this inversion right here, or two, this one, right? So which one do we want to look to take here? Ideally we kind of get both here. We have SMT. No, we do not. Yeah, no. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button. I'm pretty new to streaming the Asia session, so it would help out the channel. So, longs would look something like this. Yeah, longs would look something like that. I would say stop. Stop can be very. I mean, stop can be loose. Tight stop. There you go. Big stop. Probably something like that. Very very conservative stop. Something like that. So we just get that inversion. Let me check the 5 minute real quick. Check the 5 minute. So, what we want to see here is we want to see this inverse, this 1 minute gap too, and push into this. Because now we did create that wick, so now we created that wick on this side, so we can look for that push higher if we wanted to. As of right now, we do have 30 minutes left on this candle, but as of right now, we have higher high and a higher low. So, we want to see this thing inverse this gap, right? If we inverse that gap, okay, that would be pretty nice. And targets, like targets would be like this and then like that. The bulls want to see price hold above this 1 minute gap right here. So, if price doesn't really hold that, okay, it's what you want to see something like that maybe. So yeah, we want to see price push up here. We do have a pretty hefty gap up here. Do have pretty hefty gaps like this. This 5 minute gap. Sorry, this 1 minute gap. Draw that right there. I think tomorrow should be pretty nice. Tomorrow, AM session. I think tomorrow AM session should be pretty good. Buyers kind of stepped in the last second of that candle. See if they can hold it. See if they can continue. See if those buyers can continue. So right here, we want to see, since we're bullish, we want to see bullish PD rates get held up, and we want to see these bearish PD rates get inversed, right? So we want to see this. We want to see price close up here, right? I'm going to take some off right here, and my stops are going to break even. All right, so I did get a pretty good entry. Entry was 6.4. My entry is 6.425. So this is my entry right here. That price. So I am at break even right now. I did take half off because we are hitting this 1 minute gap. If we want to continue up this high, this buy side at 998, great. If we flip that, if we flip back down, it's fine with me. Fine with me. Already took half off. Risk free now. And out there for the rest. Okay. Okay. Small little scalp. Small scalp. So my entry was 6.425. 6.425. There. Stop was there. So, I was looking for that run, came back down, tagged it. Like we might still just kind of flip through here, but I did not want to risk kind of just tapping this 1 minute gap and then just flipping down. Kind of what we did. There's still a good chance that we flip higher. I definitely think there's still a very good chance that we flip higher. Just because everything's so tight, we have so many PD arrays right here. I'm playing it safe and I'm just taking those small little scalps, securing that profit. If it wants to run, half my size can run, but fine with me. Fine with me. Let's see. What do you guys like more? Do you guys like a higher win rate or do you guys like a higher R? What do you guys like? Let's hear it. Robert says higher R. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? So, again, bulls want to see this thing flip higher, right? We want to see this flip higher here. Francis says right now, higher win rate and confidence. Personally, I like higher, I like the higher probability, you know. Like if I can get a pretty high win rate with a 1 to 1, maybe 1.5, fine, fine, it's fine with me. I really like securing that profit. Here I am securing profit a little bit early, maybe even a little bit too early, but that's just because I know that we have so many just PD arrays all around here that price could just bounce off any one of them any second. So, you know, but so let's kind of recap. So we did catch this short down here, right? We did catch that short. We did not we honestly did not catch much of it. It was something like that. Price did run down to our target though, down here. That's where we wanted it to go. And then we caught this long right here. Average was 6.4. Well, I mean it's right here. This thing right here. So I'm still bullish. I do think we're gonna inverse this and push higher. Do you think we'll get that? I'm liking it a lot. I really like this how we tapped into that gap and flipped and pushed higher. We closed on the top, so we closed above the CE of this 5 minute gap. We closed high. So I'm still liking this buy side over here. But price, again, stalling out that 1 minute gap. Guys, right now Apex is 80% off. So 80% off, 1 day pass. You can get up to 20 accounts. Use code GC Trading right there. It'll always get you the best discount. So nice, Tamara. Nice. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was like. That's why I secured profit right at this gap. The price can go in there, reject it, and then just do this, right? And then, when price is coming down here, why didn't I secure profit when we went right into a gap and rejected, right? So, so you would be kind of like anticipating that this thing would get inverse, which I mean, definitely can. If you're bullish, it definitely can. But there's always that chance of it just flipping there. So, well, why not just secure profit at that first gap and then just let the rest go? Like in this case, it was pretty close to it. It was pretty tight, but hey, for example, this gap could have been up here, right? If this gap would have been up here, okay, then I would have held to that gap, and then it probably would have taken half off, moved the rest to break even, right? So like this, it's not like, oh, like, this is a bad R to go, to go break even early, right? Like, for example, like let's say, like we got in long off this inversion right here, right? We did have this 1 minute gap right here, right? So yes, like in that case, that is like, let's see how many points that is. I mean, that's a point and a half from where our entry was. Okay, that's obviously we're not going to go break even there. But if this gap, we're like this gap was up here a little bit more, right? We inverse this gap. So if this thing was up here, that's where I would go break even. Just wherever that next kind of gap is or area. In this case, it was right there. So all right, and that's why we go break even, because this thing price do went into that gap, flipped lower, right? We're flipping hard, flipping hard. So we did catch a little bit of it. Something like, I don't know. It was something like that. Something like that. But okay. Anyway, so we are flipping lower. Bears want to see price inverse this 5 minute gap. Robert says he's looking for long at 938. 938. So you're trying to get in down here. All right. 938. Well, what are you getting in on? Yeah. What's your entry? Your entry reason? Yeah. Back to that 5 minute gap. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this for now just to clean up that chart. So delete that inversion, delete that. We did inverse that. 1 minute gap held, 5 minute gap. I'll still leave it there for a little bit. Got a minute 20 left. So bears want to see this thing inverse here. Bears want to see this inverse and push lower. So like if we can inverse and get that expansion move, we could look for that low to get taken out, something like that, and eventually even lower than that. We got 38 seconds left on this candle. 38, 28 seconds now. We had a really nice sell sequence down there. Really nice sell sequence. Those three candles. 1 minute gap is right here. So like if we start inversing this, like I'm not going to get long off that. There's no reason for me to get long off that. Right. So here's my entry model right here. I type it out every Asia session. All right, so that's the entry model right there. All right, so it looks like we do have a new 5 minute, yeah, new 5 minute candle. So we did inverse this 5 minute gap. I'm gonna go ahead and delete it. We did inverse it, so that is bearish. Put in lower high. Let's check ES, see what ES is doing. Yeah, ES, same thing, lower high. All right. So NQ took out this low. ES did not. ES did not take out that low. So I guess that is some bullish S&T. If we do start inversing here, I'm not going to look to get long. I don't like it that much. I already have 2 wins under my belt for the night. So if we do inverse this gap, we get a nice expansion. Yeah, like I'll look for this low here, the session low. And then, if we got runners, we're looking for this right here, this wick low. So yeah, I want to see that expansion right there. I want to see that expansion. 5 minutes got 2 minutes, 55 seconds left. Honestly, like if you're like super, super aggressive. This is for like super aggressive traders. You can take the 1 minute closure on the 5 minute for value gap. It'd be a pretty good R. Do have a really nice sell sequence through this. The only thing is, okay, you're taking out this low. Are you going to flip here? Right. Which is a very good probability that we do that as well. But this is a nice sell sequence. This is a nice sell sequence right here. Do have a 1 minute gap over here. Sorry, I was looking at it on my other monitor. Do have a 1 minute gap right there. So we did fill that gap right there. So we want to see price inverse that gap. It is a 1 minute. We have a really nice sell sequence here. So let's see if we can see what happens. See what happens with this. We want to see this thing push lower. Want to see this thing push lower here. All right, so I want to see this buy sequence or the sell sequence continue. So I'm putting my stop to break even again. First target is this low, just a little bit above it, actually, something like that. Stops are break even, so we are risk free. Sorry, I'm managing this trade over here on my other screen. If we do rip, I do want to see us just get it immediately. All right. So okay, so tag my stop and profit there. Tag the stop and profit there. No big deal. No big deal. I think made like a few dollars on it. Nothing crazy. So okay, not a bad idea. So what I did there was, I saw, and I do still think this thing will go. I'm just securing profit pretty early. Honestly, probably too early. But anyways, so the idea on this thing right here is this 5 minute gap, right? We have this 5 minute gap, and we had this really nice sell sequence off that 1 minute right there, inversed this gap, inverse 5 minute like it was nothing. So I took the 1 minute closure right there on that It was actually a little bit lower, honestly. It was something like that. So I took the 1 minute closure on the 5 minute gap and anticipating that we're going to keep ripping through here. We are holding this 1 minute gap right now. I wanted to see once I saw us holding the bottom of this right here, the bottom of this gap. I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just put stops right here. Actually, right here, somewhere in this wick. Price hit that, and yeah. So that was pretty much break even trade. No big deal. No big deal. I am still bearish, right? I do think we're going to take out these lows. I do think we're going to take out these lows here. Let's see. Robert Lee says he would like to see the relative equal lows get taken. The reversal model, similar to my model with the low time inversion and market structure. Very nice. Very nice. But yeah, price ripped through it. Price ripped through it. So what shifted my bias here was okay, we respected that 1 minute gap. We inversed this 5 minute gap right here, right? Had a super nice sell sequence, inverse this 5 minute gap like it was nothing, where it was really strong. I was like, okay, we're gonna take the 1 minute close, right? Got in somewhere around there, and then right now we're holding this 1 minute gap, so just went to break even. So yeah, that's it. That's it. I am bearish on the day. I am bearish, or at least on the night. I do think we will hit these levels. And one thing that I really liked about this trade too was my stop was really nice. So my stop was just right here, just right at this high. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that just to keep the chart fresh. Keep the chart fresh here. Did anyone take any trades throughout tonight? Any trades for you guys? Any trades yet? 5 minutes. So we got 20 seconds left on this 5 minute candle. We do have a 5 minute gap up here. Looks like we're probably going to have one right here if we don't push in the next 15 seconds. And yeah, let's see if ES took out any of those lows. No, it did not. Did not. Okay. Yeah. Anyone take any trades tonight? You guys getting any longs, any shorts? I know. I know. Tamara was at a long earlier. Anyone else? Anyone else take any trades? Yeah. So 5 minute gap. We are in this 5 minute gap right here. We did inverse this one. I'm going to delete that just to keep it fresh. 5 minute gap is right there. If you guys are bearish, look for an inversion pretty much like right now. On like the 1 minute, which I don't really, I don't really see one here. If we do inverse this, okay, but right now we are holding that 5 minute gap. You might even have to drop down to the 30-second. So what are we doing here? We are taking out this high. We have a 30-second fair value gap right here. So if price does inverse this gap, I'm probably not going to take it since I've already taken 3 trades. But yeah, something like that. I want to secure my profit for the night. 2 wins, one break even, so pretty solid. Oh yeah. Okay, Tamara. Yeah, you were short. Yeah. Francis said got a couple wins with a few micros. Is this the same Francis that's in the Discord? Awesome, nice, 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 nice. All right, so no confirmation there on that flip, right? We just bounce that 1 minute gap. I'll probably hop off here in 2 or 3 minutes. We came into Asia session. We got our 2 wins. We're good to go. Good to go. Tomorrow, honestly, I'll probably just start the Asia session at 8 p.m. Probably just start at 8 p.m. because at 7:45 it does nothing. so so but yeah, we had some great trades today. Had some really good trades. Short down here. Cut that short on that leg, and then long on this leg up here, something like that. We did try to get we did get into a short down here. Hit break even though, no big deal. I like that sell sequence right there. That's what made me good in that trade off the 5 minute inversion. All right, so this 5 minute is inversing. At least trying to. It has 2 minutes left. Yeah, so guys, I do stream in the Discord at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So completely free. Link for that is in the description. All you got to do is join the Discord. And I think I'll call it there, guys. I think I'll call it there. So thank you for watching. Caught some nice trades. Congrats to everyone that caught some other awesome wins as well. Please hit that like button. By the way, just one more reminder: Apex is 80% off. Code GC Trading right here. Get the best discount. Could that inverse be liquidity, or is that different? Could the inverse be liquidity? I mean, like inversions show me like momentum. So, I mean, I guess it's taken out like when I think of like liquidity, I think of like going into gaps. Here, let me get out of this. All right, I mean, like you can find like liquidity anywhere, I guess, but like let's say we have like this 5 minute gap. Right, if price goes into this, right, it's getting liquidity in that gap inside the imbalance. Or if we have like a major like, so we have equal lows. If price rips below here, okay, it's taking liquidity. Everyone stops here, then goes. So like that's kind of what I think of it. But yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Great stream. I'll be live tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Eastern in the Discord. Again, link for that in the description. Use code GC Trading for all your prop firm needs, and I'll see you guys later. Adios.